Hello, everybody. Welcome to the next game in the 1987 American League replay. We are at the Kingdome in Seattle for the game between the Detroit Tigers and the Seattle Mariners. This game was played on April the 27th. It's the second of 3 games to be played on this date. And it is game number 129 overall on the replay. Starting pitchers for today's game, Mark Langston on the mound for Seattle, and Frank Tanana is on the mound for Detroit. Hello, Ben. How are you doing? So with both left-handers on the mound, the managers have opted for primarily right-handed hitting, so they are playing the percentages for sure. Kingdome, singles are 1-5 for lefties and righties, but home runs are 1-17, so the ball should be flying out of the Kingdome. Langston comes to the game 1-3, Tanana 0-1. So 2 good pitchers that are just struggling early on. Hello, Philip. They're struggling early on, but there's a long way to go. Wild pitch for Langston's a 7, balks a 3. Tanana, wild pitch 5, balks a 0. Detroit enters the game 7-10. Seattle enters the game 8-11. So let's look at the Detroit lineup. Again, Darrell Evans, the only lefty in the lineup. We have Brookins at second, Herndon, Heath and right, Trammell, Harper, the DH, Coles, Lemon, Evans, and Mercado. Seattle's kind of the same thing. The only lefty on the starting lineup is Alvin Davis. So we have Nixon, Bradley, Christensen, Presley, Davis, Moses, Quinones, Kearney, and Reynolds. So like I said, they are playing the percentages, this lefty versus righty thingy. Hey, Brian. Yeah, Ben, I really wasn't planning on playing this game today, but I kind of had a rough day today. Just out of sorts, and just I don't know, not sure exactly how to describe it, but just kind of a rough day. So I thought playing Strat-O-Matic would, kind of get me back into the swing of things. So it's a little bit later than what I wanted to be out there, be online, but that's just the way it is. So let's get the ball rolling here so that I can see what you guys are seeing. And again, I kind of had a false start because I was going to start this game a few minutes ago, but I realized I hadn't plugged in my webcam. And so when I started to set up the stream and then put in the webcam, it wouldn't recognize it. So the only way I could do anything was to close it down and redo it but the webcam has to be plugged in before I start the setup of the stream, or YouTube won't recognize it. So I've learned that much. It's a learning process on some of this technology stuff. So bear with me, and we will get going there. Hello, Dav. Good to see you. All right, so I think we are just about ready to get going here. Got the game up on the Strat-O-Matic computer as usual, so I can score it as I'm playing it. I am looking at the chat through my phone and also looking at what is showing, what you guys are seeing. So it looks like everything's, you can see the dice tray and the score sheet pretty good. As before with the Oakland game from the other day, actually yesterday morning. I'm going to use this combination of white, red, and black because that seems to work well. I'm not really worried about team colors at this point. All right, so Mark Langston will be finishing up the warm-up tosses. Get the complete line on Langston on the replay. He is 1-3 with an 8.59 earned run average, 22 innings pitched, 34 hits, 5 walks, 22 strikeouts. So the strikeouts to innings pitched is 1-to-1, which is pretty accurate according to what what he did in real world. He has given up 6 home runs in just 22 innings pitched. That's definitely high. And of course, his ERA is way up there. But he's looking for a good outing to turn that around. And all it takes is one, really, to turn it all around. Now, the last thing I need to check, pitcher, catcher, hold. Langston's a +2 when he combines with the catcher Kearney. And Tanana's a -2 when he combines with Mercado. All right. So Tom Brookins, and like I said, I don't know if Whitaker is injured at this point, has a nagging injury. He is on the roster. He can pinch hit, but he hasn't started for a few games. So I'm assuming he's got a nagging injury of some sort. So Tom Brookins is in the leadoff spot. He's hitting 341, 1 homer and 4 driven in, and we're underway. 6-6 against Langston is a strikeout. So first at bat of the game by Brookins, and Langston rings him up with a K. So a good start for Langston, and he needs it. And that brings up Larry Herndon, the left fielder. Herndon hasn't had a whole lot of opportunities, I don't believe. Just 25 at bats, but he is hitting 360, a homer and 3 runs driven in. That's a 4-6 for Langston. That's another strikeout. So Langston ringing up the Ks. He can do that. 2 up and 2 down now for the usually a catcher, Mike Heath, but he can play everywhere. He played catcher, right field, first base, second base, third base, shortstop, left field, and center field. So basically everything but pitch is what Mike Heath did. Every position but pitcher. So he's up, and he's hitting 200 in 25 at bats, no homers and 1 run driven in. All right, that's a 3-3 for Heath against Langston, and he is hit by the pitch. So Mike Heath is plunked. So a 2-out hit by pitch. Heath will not be held. And that'll bring up Alan Trammell, the shortstop. Trammell was injured for a little bit of time early on, so he's only got 28 at bats, 2 homers, 86. I'm sorry, 1 home run, 3 runs driven in, 286 average. So he's basically, it looks like he's 8 for 28, because 2 for 7 is 286 average. So multiply by 4, you get 8 for 28. There's the havoc roll, nothing happening. Get a 3-9, and that's a walk. So the inning will continue. After 2 strikeouts, we get a hit by pitch and a walk. So now we're in a clutch situation for the designated hitter, Terry Harper. And Harper, in 20 at bats, is only hitting 100. He's 2 for 20. One of those hits was a double. No homers and 2 driven in. Nothing on the havoc again. Here's Harper. 2-11 for Harper. That's a fly ball to right field, and that's going to end the inning. And Langston gets out of it after giving up a hit by pitch and a walk. He gets out unscathed. We go to the bottom of the first. Detroit nothing. And Seattle coming to bat against Frank Tanana Daiquiri. This, of course, like I said, is the second of 3 games to be played on this date. We remember the previous game was Boston and Oakland, which was a wild one, where it was close till the end, and then Boston kind of just laid waste to Oakland in the 9th inning. And then we have this game here. And if I look up, hello, Mr. Robert, how are you? Let me look up on Retro Sheet and see the other American League game for this date. And it is Milwaukee and California. And that'll be Nieves against Mike Witt. And that'll be from Anaheim. That is the final game that will finish the April 27th date. And then we got a full slate starting 4/28. All right, so Donnell Nixon will lead off against Tanana. Tanana's 0-1 with a 3.45 earned run average. 16 innings pitched, 16 hits, 7 walks, 10 strikeouts. Donnell Nixon hitting .313, 2 homers, 7 driven in. It's a 1-9 against the left-hander, and that's a single. So Donnell Nixon leads off with a base hit. He's definitely a threat to run. Tanana is a -2 hold, though, when you combine him with the catcher. So 2 through 7, he will get the lead. And he does, so he will go. 18 being held makes him a 16, -2 is a 14. 1 to 14, he steals it. Donnell Nixon is caught stealing. Look at that. Mercado threw him out. Threw him out as Brookins put on the tag. It goes 2-4 on the caught stealing with the right-hander at the plate. So Nixon tried to get greedy, and he paid for it. So that'll bring up Phil Bradley. Brian, I'm not really even doing anything with the National League. I'm just solely doing on the American League. I'm just going to let the I'm not even going to bother with the National League. What I'll probably do is when this is over, is I'll just, whoever makes it to the World Series from the American League will just play the Cardinals. I'll just leave it at that. Here's Bradley, Phil Bradley, $1.94, homer and 6 driven in. It's a 3-6, and that's a walk. So Bradley is aboard on a base on balls. And I already did the National League. Yeah, the reason why I'm not doing the National League is because I already did that with History Maker Baseball, the Atlanta Braves. I played a full Atlanta Braves replay where I played the entire National League. Played the Braves every game, 161 games. So I got to see all those National League teams. So kind of National Leagued out on 1987. So I want to concentrate on the American League. All right, Bradley, again, he has a chance to get the lead. So first you don't succeed, you try again, 2 through 5. He does not get the lead, so he will have to hold. All right, so here's Christensen. Limited duty. He's only had 1 at bat. I'd say it's pretty limited. He's had 2 plate appearances, 1 at bat, 1 walk. But he's 0 for 1, so he's got a 0 average. But really, like I said, it's not really fair to point that out. 2-6, and that is a single to left field. So how about that? Now he's hitting 500. And Bradley will stop at second base. So Tanana hasn't gotten anybody out yet. The only out was a caught stealing. So Tanana's got to bear down a little bit. Here comes the hound dog, Jim Presley. And Presley is hitting 159, 2 homers, 6 driven in. Presley. 5-5 against the right-hander. That's trouble for Tanana again. 1-4 is a triple. 5-20 is a double. It's a double for Presley. It's assumed to go to center field because it's not marked. Lemon's a -1 arm. Christensen's a 13. Trail runner not being held is a 14. And then -1's a 13. With nobody out, they're not going to take any chances. They're going to hold Christensen at third base. So it's an RBI double for Presley. And the Mariners lead at 1-0. And if it wasn't for caught stealing, they'd be leading even more. But now the infield for Detroit's going to come in because they know Langston's a tough customer and they're not going to get a whole lot of runs, perhaps. So with nobody out and runners at second and third, 1 out, runners at second and third, they're going to play in for a lefty-lefty matchup with Alvin Davis. Davis hitting 323, 3 homers and 6 driven in. Nothing on the Havoc. 1-8, and that's trouble again. 1-4 is a homer. 5-20 is a double. It's a double for Alvin Davis. And boy, Tanana just can't get out of his own way. It's now 3-0 Seattle, and they're looking for more. 2-run double from Alvin Davis. Makes it 3-0. And here comes John Holy Moses. Davis not being held on second. Moses hitting a $157, a homer and 3 driven in. But Tanana's got to settle things down. 4-8, switch hitter batting right-handed. That is a strikeout, so he finally gets an out there for out number 2. Will bring up a clutch situation for Ray Quinones. And against left-handers in the clutch, he loses a single on 2-7. That's his only clutch rating. Nothing on the Havoc. Quinones hitting a $185, no homers, 5 driven in. It's a 1-3, and he's going to fly to right field to end the inning, but Mariners put up a 3 spot against Tanana. It could have been worse without that caught stealing. But they do lead at 3-0 after 1 inning of play. And Langston's been given that lead to protect. And he'll be facing Darnell Coles, Chet Lemon, and Mr. Evans, Mr. Darrell Evans. So Coles We're leading things off. He's hitting a $185. 1 homer, 9 driven in. 1-5, and that's a split chance. One's a single, and he also lines to short, so he will line it to short. 1 away. So Coles is retired, and that's going to send up Chet Lemon, center fielder. He's hitting a $158. Boy, that's why the Tigers are struggling a little bit, because their batting averages are pretty woeful. No homers, 5 driven in. 2-7 for Lemon, and that is a 1-15 single. That's a 5. It's a single for Chet Lemon. So Lemon's aboard. He will not be held, will not threat to go anywhere. And Darrell Evans, first baseman, steps to the plate. Evans hitting a $186, 3 homers, 7 driven in. 6-6 against the lefty, and that's a strikeout. Strikeout number 3 for Langston. And now it's going to be up to Mercado, the catcher. Again, he's in there because of the lefty on the mound. They have Matt Noakes on the bench, and they have Mike Heath, the other catcher, in right field. So Orlando Mercado had 22 at-bats in real world for the whole season. He's had 15 already, so his time is dwindling, I'm sure. Hitting 200. He hit 136 in real world, but he's hitting 200 here. No homers and 1 run driven in, which is exactly what he did in real world. So we'll see what he does here against Mr. Langston with 2 outs and a runner at first. Get a 5-8, and that's another strikeout. So Langston with 4 strikeouts in 2 innings. And the Tigers come away empty-handed. All they get is a lone single from Lemon. We go to the bottom of the second, still 3-0. Favor of the M's. Tanana back out, trying to hope his second inning is better than his first. Hello, Craig. How are you doing? It'll be Bob Kearney, the catcher. He's only had 3 at-bats all year. He's 1 for 3. Mostly Scott Bradley has been doing the catching the majority of the time, but with the lefty on the mound, they're starting the right-hander. So Kearney gets a chance. 6-10, and that's a ground ball, third base X. That is going to be Darnell Coles. He's a 4. So Detroit has a lot of 4s on their fielding, which is not good. 4 and a 10. He might get to that. Let's check that out. 4 and a 10 for a third baseman. 4 and a 10 is a G3. So it's good enough to get the out as long as there's no error. He's an E37, though. That could be problematic. E37, it's a 9, 11, 12, 15, 16, and 17. So 9, 11, 12, 15, 16, and 17. And that is a 10, so that's okay. Coles will make the play. So Coles is able to handle it. 1 down. And that'll bring up Harold Reynolds. I think he watched some baseball tonight in between games to figure out how to field. He's hitting 224, no homers, and 2 driven in. 2-4, and that's a ballpark single check, 1-5, but that's a 19. He's going to line it to short. Out number 2. Back to the top of the order for Donnell Nixon. Singled and got caught stealing his first chance. 6-4, and that's a catcher X. That is Mercado. He's a 4, but nobody's on base, so no chance of a pass ball or anything. 4-19, I believe, is a pop-up, but let's see. Nope, actually 4-19 is a G3. And then his error rating is a 10, E10. So he's got to avoid 12 and 18. And barely he does with an 11. So it's going to be a 2-3 put out to end the inning. So Tanana much better here in the second. We go to the third, still 3-0. Favor of the M's. Here is Langston back out, and he'll be facing the top of the order, Tom Brookins. It's a 5-5, and that is a strikeout. Strikeout number 5 for Mr. Langston. Brookins has gone twice on K's. Here's Herndon. He struck out his first chance. 3-10, and that's a walk. So the second walk issued by Langston to go with a hit batter. So he's all over the place. Herndon not going to be held. Here's Mike Heath, right fielder. He was hit by a pitch first time up. Langston. 4-4, and that's a catcher X. So we're going to Kearney. He's a 4. 4 and a 17. We were just there a second ago. 4 and a 17 is a pop out. It'll be a pop out as long as there's no error. He's an E9, so he has to avoid 3, 13, and 18. And he does. So Kearney makes the play. Fair territory, pop out to Kearney. We're out number 2, and it's going to be all up now to Alan Trammell. Trammell, his first time up, walked. Langston to Trammell. 1-9, and that's a ballpark blast. 1-17, it's gone. Alan Trammell, look at it again. A 1-9 is a ballpark blast against lefties, and it's a 1-17, and that's a 7. So Alan Trammell connects for his second home run of the season. It's a 2-run shot, and it cuts the lead to 3-2. Alan Trammell, second home run of the season. RBIs 4 and 5. Remember, he missed a lot of this beginning of the season with injury, so Tigers are happy to have him back. Cuts the lead to 3-2. And here's Terry Harper. 110, and that's a grounder to short. Quinones takes care of it, but the damage was done. Two-run home run from Alan Trammell has cut the lead to 3-2. As we head to the bottom of the third. And Tanana back out. And he'll be facing Phil Bradley, John Christensen, and the hound dog Jim Presley. Bradley, his first time up, walked and scored. 6-5, that is a fly ball center field. Handled by Lemon, one away. Everybody on the bench for the Tigers is left-handed, in case you're curious. They have all their right-handers are in the game, and they have no switch hitters. So everybody on the bench is left-handed. Here's Christensen. Seattle does have a mixture. 3-6. 1-7 is a single. That's a 16, though, so it's a liner to short. Snagged by Trammell, and there's 2 away. Trammell. Made that play. Now here's the hound dog. 5-7, and that's a ground ball shortstop X, so Trammell gets to make another play. He's a 1, so you know he's going to get to it. It's an E21 that we're checking. And at shortstop, an E21. He's got to avoid 6, 15, and 17. And he does. So it's a good play for Trammell. That will retire the side. 3 up and 3 down. We played 3 in the Kingdom, and it is 3-2 M's. But the Tigers have made a game of it, thanks to Trammell. Langston will come back out, and he'll face Coles, Lemon, and Evans. Top of the 4th. Tigers looking to put some more pressure on Langston, score some more runs. 5-9, but they will strike out here to start the inning. And for Langston, that's 6 strikeouts. 6 Ks. Here is Lemon. Singled his first time up. One of the few who have not struck out. 5-8, but now he is added to the strikeout list. That is 7 strikeouts for Langston. And that brings up the lone lefty, Darrell Evans. 6-2, and it's a ground ball back to Langston. So an easy 1-2-3 inning for the Mariners here. Keeps the score at 3-2. Go to the bottom of the fourth. Hello, Phoenix. How you doing? Hello, DJ from the left coast or west coast. I'm not sure how you say that. But anyway, like I was saying earlier, I wasn't going to do a stream tonight because I had kind of a rough day, but rougher than I would have liked. But I thought this might, kind of be a little therapeutic, and so far it has been. So Alvin Davis will lead off. 1-7, and he strikes out. Strikeout number 2 for Tanana. Not nearly the strikeout pitcher Langston is. And that brings up John Moses, the center fielder. He struck out his first time up. 4-11. Ground ball first base X. That is Evans. He's a 4. 4-4 is probably going to get through for a base hit. And it does. It's a single. But now we'll see if there's an error involved as well. He is an E5. 14, 17, and 18. He's got to avoid those. And he does. So it will not be an error. It will just be a base hit that Moses sneaks past Evans, whose range is limited, particularly on the turf. Kind of thought about doing a homebrew on the Strat-O-Matic. When you play a game on turf, you make their range 1 less because the ball's going to get past them. But I don't think that. I guess their ratings already have all that factored in, so I decided against it. All right, so Moses is up. He will be held, but he won't try to run because he gets caught with an 11. And he's only a 15. It'd be a 1-11 if he got the lead. So they've already had one guy caught stealing. They're going to just let him stay there. Tanana to Quinones. 5-10, and that's a ballpark single check. 1-5. That's a 3. It'll be a single. Only one base advancement for Moses. But the ballpark single comes in handy. Home cooking for the Mariners. And now first and second, 1 out for Bob Kearney. Six, 7, and that's going to be a strikeout for Tanana, and that is his 3rd strikeout, 2nd of the inning. He's getting the strikeout bug. What is this, 2024 with all these strikeouts? What's going on? Here's Harold Reynolds. 6-6, switch hitter batting right. That's a single to right field. What do you know? Harold Reynolds got a hit. He might even bring in a run. Moses is a 17. He was being held. Makes him a 16, but with 2 outs becomes an 18. Right fielder Heath is a -2, makes it a 16. So it'll be a 1-16. If he throws through, then both runners can move up. But with 2 outs, you gotta try to get the guy at the plate regardless. So it's a 1-16 chance to get him, and he's in there safely with an RBI single. It's going to allow Quinones to go to 3rd. And Reynolds will take 2nd on the throw. So 2nd and 3rd. But the RBI single from Harold Reynolds makes it a 4-2 game with 2 outs. And we go to the top of the order for Donnell Nixon. Second and 3rd. Clutch situation for Nixon. He loses 2 clutch hits on a 1-6 and a 1-7. That's a 2-7, and he's going to strike out. So Tanana strikes out the side, but in between gives up 3 hits and a run. And we've completed 4 with a score of 4-2 in favor of the Mariners. Mariners 8-11, trying to make up a game on Oakland, who lost their game against Boston, so they could gain a game with a win. That's what they're hoping for. DJ, I didn't order anything from Strat this year, and I don't intend to. No interest in 1970, definitely no interest in 2024, and definitely no interest in Strat Max. I'm up to my eyeballs in 87, so no sense ordering something I'm not going to use. At least not right now. Here's Mercado, 2-8, and that's a pop out to first base. Alvin Davis there to make the play. Maybe sometime down the road I might get 1970, but I doubt it. We've got 69 and 71, so I've got both bookends there. There's nothing memorable about the 70 season to me except for the World Series, maybe. One 8, and that's going to be a ground ball to short. Two down. And that brings up Larry Herndon. 2-4, and that's a ground ball to short to end the inning. So no strikeouts this inning for Langston, but it's a 1-2-3 frame, which I'm sure he will take. Go to the bottom of the fifth, still 4-2 Seattle. As Langston looking for his second win of the season, Tanana's looking for his first win. But he's not doing so well right now, down 4-2. Here's Phil Bradley. One 4 for Bradley. That's a ground ball to short, and Trammell is there, one away. For John Christensen. 5-5, and that's trouble for Tanana. 1-4 is a triple. That's a 3. It'll be a triple for Christensen. A 1-out triple for Christensen. On the real season, Christensen had 1 triple, so there you go. There's his triple, but it came off the pitcher card. I don't think he has any triples on his own card because of that, because the Strat figures his triple is going to come off the opposing pitcher card, and he has no triples on his own. Actually, he does have a small chance at a triple on his own card, but it's not a good chance. So, infield in now. They got to choke the run off, and here's the Hound Dog. 2-5, and that's a ground ball third base A with the infield in. The runner has to hold. If that had been a B, then he would have been out at the plate. With an A, he holds. All right, here's Alvin Davis, clutch situation again. And again, he loses a single on a 2-8. .610, and that is a ground ball third base X. That's Coles. That's trouble. He's a 4. This could cost him a run. 4 and a 6 probably just did. 4 and a 6 certainly did. SI1, that's a single. It's going to score a run. Coles again on an E37. 9, 11, 12, and then 15 through 17. And that's a 8, so he does not commit the error, but the single gets past him. And it's an RBI single to make the score 5-2. RBI for Alvin Davis. He's 2 for 3 with 3 runs driven in. He's bucking to be the MVP of this game. Here's Moses. 6'9", switch hitter batting right-handed, lines it to second. Brookins has it to end the inning, but the Mariners pick up another run, make it 5-2. And one thing I've noticed using this black D20 with the red and white dice, I'm not getting a whole lot of ones here. I haven't checked a whole lot of wild pitches or anything, so that's good. The blue D20 and the green D20s were getting out of hand with those. So I'm kind of glad I've kind of foregone the team color thing and just sticking with this set right now. DJ, if Strat offered 75, I would buy it in a heartbeat. 74, not so much. Don't really follow 70. I got 73 already, so I don't need 74. But 75 would be good because I don't have 76 in Strat. I've got 77, but not 76. I was going to buy 76, but I heard the card quality was super cheap on the 1976 set, more so than the regular sets, so that's why I didn't buy it. All right, here's Heath. 6-6, and that is a strikeout. Heath is out on strikes, and for Langston now, that is strikeout number 8. Here's Trammell. 1-6, and that's a 1 for a triple. Anything else, it's a single. So Trammell, 2 for 2. As he seems to be able to figure out Langston, but nobody else can. Trammell will be held, but he won't go anywhere. And here's Harper. That's a 2, so a chance of a balk or a pass ball. We're looking at a chance of a pass ball on Kearney, but he's a 0 pass ball rating, so no worries there. 3-10, and that is a ballpark blast for Harper, 1-17, but that's a 19. Boy, what a tough break for the Tigers. Ballpark blast on a 3-10. It's 1-17, but the D20 is a 19. Just a deep fly to left. That cost him a 2-run homer. That would have put the score at 5-4 and really tightened things up, but just not to be. Here's Coles. 6-7, and that is a walk, and that's going to put 2 on with 2 outs. And turn it over to Chet Lemon in a clutch situation. Lemon in the clutch against left-handers has no rating, so neutral as far as that goes. He is 1 for 2 with a single and a strikeout. Langston to Lemon, 5-6, and that's a strikeout again, number 9, I believe it is. On the game for Langston in 6 innings, he has struck out 9. And that's going to end the inning. So we go to the bottom of the 6th, score still 5-2. Tanana trying to hang in there and save some of their bullpen. Although the Tigers bullpen is starting to stir a little bit. Brian Kelly, a right-hander, is loosening in the bullpen for the Tigers. But first things first, we're going to have Quinones, Kearney, and Reynolds come up against Tanana. $4-9 for Tanana against the righty is a split chance. 1-4 is a single, but that is a 9, so it'll be a line out to short. Line out to short by Quinones. Out number 1. And that will send up the catcher, Bob Kearney. Kearney is 0 for 2. Grounded to third and struck out. Six, 7, and that's another strikeout for Tanana. 2 down, and that's going to bring up Harold Reynolds. Reynolds, RBI single his last time up. 4-11 rather, is a ground ball first base X. That is Darrell Evans. He's a 4. And a 9, he may or may not get to that. 4 and a 9, he does get to that. He'll have to flip to Tanana covering. He's an E5, so he's got to avoid 14, 17, and 18 to convert the play. And he does. So Evans will flip to Tanana covering. 3-1. When you're scoring at home, make sure you note 3-1. And I'm not even going to ask anymore because I'm just assuming you are, because you should be. And that's the end of the inning. Gone through 6. And that was the fatigue inning for Tanana, by the way. And he went 1, 2, 3, so he keeps full endurance. And we go to the top of the 7th. Wait, something didn't go right here, I don't think. Let me check something here. Make sure I'm recording everything the way it's supposed to be. Check that last inning. Line out. Why was Moses? Moses should have been the one. Something wasn't right here. I'm out of whack on my computer, so I may have to redo this. Ground out, triple, ground out. Oh, you know what? I didn't have Davis single. That's what I didn't do. All right, bear with me. I'm going to have to, well, you know what? Yep, I need to fix this. So thank goodness for the undo button in Strat-O-Matic PC. I skipped one of the entries and everything got one player off, and I want these stats to be right. So I am going to undo all this stuff until I can get back to where I was, to where I messed up. So let's see here. And where I messed up was in the 5th inning for the Tigers, I think. So let me take it back one more. All right, Trammell singled, Harper flied out. Got that part. Coles walked. No, this is where I messed up in the 5th inning for Seattle. That's where I messed up. So I got to keep going back. Apologize for the delay. Unfortunately, I don't have any funny stories to tell to keep you entertained while I fix the goof up. But it will make the overall thing at the end give me my complete, accurate information. So let's see here. The 5th inning, Alvin Davis. Where are you? There you are. Alvin Davis singled in Christensen. Come on. All right, that made it 5-2, so that's right. Then Moses lined to second. So I think I've got it straight now. All right, then Heath struck out. Just having to recreate the inning, that's all, on the computer. But nothing really fancy happened, so it won't take long to get this fixed up. And a strikeout there. All right. Then Quinones lines to short. Kearney struck out. And Reynolds grounds out Evans to Tanana. All right, now we're back in business. Hello, Mr. Little. How are you doing? All right, so now we're all straight. Everything is back to the way it should be. So I've got all the pertinent people in the right batting order and what's coming up next and all that stuff. So we do have Langston. This is his point of weakness inning, number 7. I'm sorry, he's an 8, so he's still not in his point of weakness inning. It'll be Evans, Mercado, and Brookins. Now we're in the 7th, so we can pinch hit, but against Langston is really tough on lefties. I think we have to keep the righties in the game. Just seems to be realistic. So here's Evans, 310, and he's going to single to center field. Is Darrell Evans. He will not be held, and plus they're down 5-2, so they're not going to, do a whole lot there. Now Mercado, they're going to probably pinch hit for Mercado because he's terrible. So they're going to pinch hit whether they're bringing a lefty or not. They're going to pinch hit, and they're going to bring in Matt Noakes to stay in the game to catch. So Matt Noakes will pinch hit for Mercado and stay in the game to catch. So Noakes will pinch hit here in the 7th and catch in the 7th. So let's get the numbers on Noakes. And he's got a runner on base to try to drive in as well. So Noakes on the replay is hitting .245, 7 homers, 16 driven in. That's a 1. First one we've had all night. Langston's wild pitch rating is a 7. And we have a wild pitch. So Langston's going to wild pitch Evans to second base. That takes a double play out of the equation. Now Noakes with a single might get an RBI. 6-6 against the lefty, though. He's going to strike out. So Langston, I believe that might be 10 now for Langston. Check the Strat computer real quick, because that's quicker than my math. Langston. That is strikeout number 10. So Langston has 10 strikeouts. Noakes will stay in the game to play as a catcher. So going forward. And here's Brookins. Brookins is 0 for 3. Is that a rough game? Four, 5, and that is another strikeout. That's strikeout 11 for Mark Langston. And it turns over to Larry Herndon. Clutch situation. Herndon loses a single on 111. That's his only clutch effect. 4-5 is another strikeout. Strikeout number 12. He strikes out the side. 12 strikeouts, an even dozen for Mark Langston. And we go the 7th inning stretch with the score: Seattle 5 and Detroit 2. Now, Tanana kept his full endurance because he went a 1, 2, 3, 6 innings, so he's got full endurance. He will stay out there and at least try to get through the 7th inning. He's going to be facing Nixon, Bradley, and Christensen for the Mariners. And the computer's popping up to tell me to make sure I put Matt Noakes in as the catcher, which I will do. All right, so Tanana now has to work with a new catcher, and that is Mr. Noakes. 2-4, and that's a ground ball to short. Trammell's all over it. One away. So Tanana may be settling down, but it may be too late. Here's Phil Bradley. 5-7, and that is going to be a ground ball shortstop X. That again is Trammell. He's a 1. You know he's going to get to it. E21, he just has to avoid 6, 15, and 17, which he does. So it's a nice play by Trammell again. Good old AstroTurf true hop. Makes the play, 2 down. And that brings up Christensen, right fielder. He tripled his last time up. He's 2 for 3 with a triple and a single. 1-8, and he's going to ground it to Trammell. Not. Let's see here. I think I'm back. I think. Don't hold me to it, but I think I'm back. I don't know what happened. My internet conked out on me or whatever, but anyway, I'm back. So we're going to continue this game. When we last left off, Alan Trammell had 3 straight assists. So that's where we left things off. We're starting the 8th inning. This is the fatigue inning for Langston. So he will start having fatigue issues. He's going to be facing Heath, Trammell, and Harper here in the top of the 8th of a 5-2 ball game. That's a 2-11 for Heath, and he's going to strike out, plus he's injured or potentially injured. And that would be the 13th strikeout for Langston. So to add insult to injury, if he gets a 1-4, he can stay in the game. 5 or higher, he's injured. So he's got to come out. Mike Heath will have to leave. And we'll need a new right fielder. And the right fielder will be Pat Sheridan. So Sheridan will take over as Heath is injured. So Sheridan will be in the right fielder in the 8th inning. All right. So Alan Trammell stepped in. And I need to bring the Strat game. I hope I didn't lose the Strat game I had up. Hopefully I can recover that as well. I don't know. I might not be able to recover that though. That's the problem. I think I lost that. I think I got to re-input everything, if I'm not mistaken. I am going to have to do that. Yep, so I'm going to have to do this all manually after the game is over, so I'll have to do all the stats manually. I won't have the Strat computer to help me with that. I have it up for the stats for the players for the season if I'm bringing a relief pitcher or a pinch hitter, but I won't be able to do the final score on that. All right, so Alan Trammell is up. Langston now with 13 strikeouts. Baker's dozen, as they say, 6-9. And that's a 1-6 single. Anything else he lines to short, that's a 2. That'll be a base hit for Trammell. He is 3 for 3. So Trammell's the only guy that could seem to figure Langston out. Here's Harper. He is 0 for 4 and a 203 hitter. And you wonder if they might, it feels kind of weird to bring in a left-handed pinch hitter to face Langston. You got to figure Harper's going to do something. That's why he started the game. Sparky thought he could hit lefties, so that's why he's in there. 5-5, and he struck him out. That's 14 strikeouts for Langston. And that'll bring up Darnell Coles. That's a 2-12 for Coles, and he flies to left to end the inning. So Langston has gone 8, and he's looking to get the complete game. As we go to the bottom of the 8th, it's still 5-2, and we're going to get a new pitcher for, or do we keep, no, you know what, we're going to keep Tanana in there because he has no marks against his point of weakness. He's got full endurance. And he has retired 7 in a row, so that's going to keep him in there against the Hound Dog, Jim Presley. 4-8, and that's going to be a strikeout. There's a dot there, but he's not tired. So nice job there by Tanana. And here's Alvin Davis. He's 2 for 3. 5-5, and that's what's trouble again for Tanana. 1-5's a triple. That's a 3. It's a triple for Alvin Davis. And now that's going to be it for Tanana. They're going to bring in a right-hander to try to get out of the inning. So Tanana will have to leave the game. They go 7 1/3 innings, and we'll do the totals on him after the inning is over because people on base are his responsibility. And they're going to bring in Brian Kelly, a right-hander. Brian Kelly. And on the replay, you get the numbers on Kelly. Brian Kelly. He is 0-0 with an ERA of 0, 5 innings pitched, 2 hits, a walk, and 2 strikeouts. So he has not given up anything just yet. Infield is in against Moses. Kelly trying to prevent that additional run from scoring. 4-11, switch hitter batting left-handed on the 4-11. That's an in-home run chance, but he has weak power. It's a 1-17. That's a 15. It will not be a home run. It will be a single for Moses, and that will score the run. That's charged to Tanana. And now you can close the book on Tanana, as Moses will single to make it a 6-2 ball game. And here's Ray Quinones. Moses will be held, but up 6-2. He's not going to go anywhere. 2-4, and that is a ground ball third base A. It's going to end the inning 5-4-3 around the horn. So Kelly is going to go 2/3 of an inning, give up a hit, nothing else. The run that came in was charged to Tanana. And let's see, no walks, no strikeouts. Tanana 7 1/3, and he's going to give up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 hits. I've got him for 6 runs. They were all earned. He walked 1. I think that's his only walk was walking Bradley. I don't see any other walks out there. He had 1 walk. Strikeout 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 strikeouts. But he's in danger of falling to 0-2. So we go to the top of the 9th, last chance for the Tigers, and they will have to do it against Mr. Langston. Going for that complete game. He's going to be facing Lemon, Evans, and Noakes. Those are the scheduled hitters. Evans, Lemon, and Noakes. That's a 2-8 against the left-hander. It's a ground ball to third. Handled by the hound dog Presley, one away. And here's Darrell Evans. 3-4, and that is another strikeout. Another strikeout. I think that's 15 strikeouts, if I remember correctly now, for Langston. And it's down to Matt Noakes. Last chance. 3-7, and he strikes out to end the ball game. What a way to end the ball game. What an appropriate way to end the ball game. Mark Langston dominant, and he takes care of the Tigers. A complete game victory to improve to 2-3 on the season. 6-2, your final. Let's get the totals, especially on Langston. Let's see, he walked 2. Walked 3. Langston walked 3. Hits he gave up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 hits. Just a 5-hitter. Struck out 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16 strikeouts for Langston. There's the final line on Langston. 9 innings pitched, 5 hits, 2 runs, 3 walks, and 16 strikeouts. He improves to 2-3 on the season. Tanana will drop to 0-2 as he gave up the 6 runs and 10 hits. So for Detroit, 2 runs and 5 hits. For the Mariners, 6 runs, 11 hits. And were there any errors in the game? I don't think there were any errors in the game. All the failed defensive checks were range-type plays. So I don't see any errors on either side. So 6-11-0 for Seattle, 2-5-0 for Detroit. Seattle improves to 9-11. Detroit falls to 7-11. So Seattle does truly, in fact, gain a game on Oakland. And a home run short of the cycle. You got to. I've never had a cycle before, and came up short. Perhaps if he'd have had a 5th at bat, he might have been able to do it. But still, pretty good deal for Alvin Davis. He would normally qualify for the player of the game, but I think you got to give it to Langston. That's just, you strike out 16 and toss a complete game. I think you kind of have to give it to him. So Seattle takes care of Detroit. The final game on April 27th on that block is only 3 games scheduled for this date. The final game will be in the Big A in Anaheim. It'll be the Milwaukee Brewers against the California Angels. Juan 19th Nieves breakdown for Milwaukee and Mike Witt for the Angels. Tomorrow, probably around lunchtime, I will upload, or not upload, but I will put out the second game of the series in History Maker Baseball with the Cincinnati Reds and the Montreal Expos. So I'll do that as probably as a premiere or something like that. And then probably tomorrow night we'll do the Milwaukee, California game from Anaheim, and that will finish out the April 27th set. And we can move on to April the 28th at that point. Yes, Mr. Sports Time Machine, I am broadcasting every single game. I didn't start that way. I started doing a game of the day, but then about April, I don't remember what day it was I officially started it, but I decided to play every game on video instead of mostly on live. I don't think I've recorded anything. I think all these are live streams. Now that I've got my webcam and everything, I think that sets it up to do it that way well. It loads in well. I don't have to wait for things to be loaded up. It just makes it a whole lot easier for me. So might as well take advantage of the technology that I have. Except for the fact that the thing, conked out on me in the 8th, before the 8th inning started. I had to restart the computer to get to going again. But aside from that, it was all right. So the only problem is now all the manual input I did in the beginning on the Strat-O-Matic computer was lost because I had to restart the computer. So I'm just going to redo it again. Right when the stream is over, I'll put it in the computer so it's accurate. But with that victory by Seattle, now they are 8. They will be 9-11, and that will put them 6 games back of the Oakland A's. They will improve to 6 games back. Detroit with a loss will drop to 7-11, and they will be 7.5 games back of the Brewers, pending on what the Brewers do with California. So that's going to do it from here. Mark Langston, no question about it, your player of the game. He improves to 2-3 with a complete game victory, and most notably 16 strikeouts. So until next time, enjoy playing whatever game you choose to play, however you choose to play it, and I will see you all down the road.